it came out in the news this past week that you have signed with All Elite Wrestling, apparently to the biggest contract ever for an announcer.
That's what I heard. That's good. I'm very blessed.
This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com, and I've had a ton of people message me that on AEW tonight, Jim Ross, who's 69 years old, in, from what I understand, probably the last stretch of his 3-year contract with AEW. And apparently he called AEW Dynamite WWE Dynamite. Big deal. Who cares? It's funny that that's the biggest news coming out of the AEW show. There's nothing else I'm hearing out of that show. So it's pretty sad when the biggest news is the Hall of Fame legend announcer makes a little slip at 69 years old. He's a legitimate senior citizen. But the reason I posted that clip at the start was because Jim Ross apparently signed a deal for the largest wrestling announcer contract ever with AEW. So he's laughing all the way to the bank. Just a couple of quick plugs here. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., I will be interviewing former head of the WCW Power Plant, head of trainer, Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern on the World Class Pro Wrestling podcast, we have Stephan Bonner, the UFC Hall of Famer himself, who is going to be on the World Class Pro Wrestling show October the 3rd in Wichita, Kansas, along with the Blood Hunter, Jacob Fatu, Shane Douglas, and others. Roland says JR is 100% better than the WWE ring commentators. I have no idea even who the WWE commentators are these days. That's how little WWE I watch. Phil said, he said another time that Kenny Omega was WWE champion instead of AEW champion. Big deal. Well, Kenny Omega, if he is still AEW champion and appearing on Impact, they're getting 0.03 ratings. So that shows you how over he is as the champion. And it is Terry Funk's birthday today. I believe he's 77 years old. So I'll end this newscast off with a clip of him talking about how great I am and how I laid a beating on him worse than any wrestler has ever laid on him. And that's what actually caused him to finally retire, because I beat him up so bad. And that's why I ultimately had to retire from wrestling too, because I was just too violent and nobody could control me.
I didn't realize just what a fool that I was dealing with in Hannibal. I didn't realize what an off-the-wall idiot that he is. You know, as I've been in the ring with practically every professional wrestling star in the world today, and I've never had one act like that before.
Actually, you look better in that than you do in person. Look at you. This guy calls himself a champion.
You're talking about
this guy calls himself a champion, a world champion. Look how he's dressed. Sweatpants, tennis shoes, and this.
You know, I have my precedents, and one of my precedents is that I don't like to have the crap beat out of me, and that seems to be what happened with Hannibal.
Look at how you look, you piece of crap. Look at how you.
My face looks like a dadgum 18-wheeler ran over me. And I'm not the happiest man in the world. Dadgummit, it's not many times in my life that I've got a butt kicking. But I had a butt kicking the other day at that press conference. I'm not going to let it happen again. It's not going to happen again.